Every piece of material we touch carries a history, a silent echo of what it once was. In a world obsessed with newness, we often forget that beauty and value can also come from what has already lived a life before. Recycling and creative reuse aren't just acts of sustainability, they're acts of imagination, transformation, and renewal. Recycling the past to future is more than a clever phrase, it's a movement that invites creators, dreamers, and everyday crafters to see potential where others see waste. From discarded wood and rusted metal to worn-out fabric and forgotten household items, each material can be reborn into something meaningful, useful, and even profitable. In every corner of a workshop or home, there are materials waiting for a second chance. That old wooden door could become a dining table. The rusted iron frame of a bed could transform into a garden bench, glass bottles might glow again as hanging lights. What makes recycling artful is not just the act of saving materials from waste, but the creativity behind what they become next. And beyond environmental value lies financial opportunity. For those with vision, recycling can be both sustainable and profitable. There's something deeply fulfilling about turning discarded materials into beautiful, functional pieces. It's not only about reducing waste but also about celebrating the creative journey of transformation. When you take something broken and give it purpose again, you breathe life back into it, and that act resonates with buyers. Today's market values originality, craftsmanship, and sustainability. People are no longer satisfied with mass-produced decor, they seek stories, character, and meaning. Reused materials carry those stories naturally. Imagine walking through a workshop filled with objects from the past, pieces of driftwood stacked in a corner, iron rods from a dismantled gate, old window frames with faded paint, and chipped tiles from a renovation site. To some, it's a pile of leftovers. But to a creative mind, it's a library of ideas waiting to be rediscovered. A craftsman sees possibilities, the window frame becomes a rustic mirror, the rods form a modern wall shelf, the tiles turn into mosaic art. This is how the past speaks to the future, one recycled creation at a time. Wood, in particular, has incredible potential for reuse. Every old plank tells a story of weather, wear, and time. When repurposed, its imperfections become its beauty. A table made from reclaimed barn wood has texture and depth that new wood can't replicate. It carries history, and that history becomes part of its value. The scratches, the nail holes, the uneven tones, all reminders that beauty often lies in imperfection. Customers are drawn to that authenticity because it connects them to something real, something lasting. Metal, too, offers a bold opportunity for reimagination. Rusted rods can be polished, bent, or welded into new forms. An old bicycle frame can become a light fixture, car parts can turn into sculpture or table legs. The strength of metal ensures your creations endure, while its flexibility allows endless innovation. Combining recycled metal with wood or glass introduces contrast, the softness of organic material balanced with industrial grit. Such contrasts give modern homes and studios their edge, and it's exactly what design-conscious buyers crave. Glass is another medium of transformation. What once held drinks can now hold light. Old bottles become chandeliers, jars become storage containers, and broken pieces can be turned into mosaics that catch sunlight in vibrant colors. The play of transparency and color adds emotional warmth to interiors. A simple glass transformation can shift the entire mood of a space, from dull to luminous, from forgotten to fascinating. Fabric and textiles have their own charm in creative reuse. Old denim jeans can become upholstery for stools, patchwork cushions, or wall art. Worn-out curtains might turn into shopping bags or chair covers. These recreations not only reduce waste but add softness and color to a world increasingly dominated by synthetic uniformity. Each piece retains traces of its past, the faded shades, the frayed edges, the unique patterns, all contributing to its individuality. Recycling also invites innovation in business. As awareness of sustainability grows, more consumers seek eco-friendly alternatives. Creators who can blend sustainability with aesthetic value are in high demand. Selling recycled furniture and decor online or through artisan markets appeals to both environmental and artistic sensibilities. You're not only offering a product but a philosophy, one that says style and responsibility can coexist. And because each piece is unique, you avoid the competition of mass-produced goods, allowing you to price your work based on creativity rather than scale. The process itself becomes a story worth sharing. When you document your recycling journey, from collecting materials to the finished product, you engage your audience emotionally. Viewers and customers love seeing the transformation process. It's proof that innovation doesn't require excess, it requires vision. Even social media thrives on this kind of storytelling. A short video showing how an old table becomes a garden bench or how a pile of scrap metal turns into a lamp can go viral, reaching audiences that appreciate both creativity and consciousness. Recycling also nurtures patience and imagination. It forces you to see beyond the surface, to imagine what something could become rather than what it is. That shift in mindset builds artistic confidence. It changes how you view materials, spaces, and opportunities. Suddenly, every trip to a junkyard, flea market, or construction site feels like a treasure hunt. What others throw away, you transform into a source of income, a sustainable cycle of renewal that supports both the environment and your livelihood. Moreover, this creative reuse movement isn't limited to professionals. Anyone can start small, repainting old furniture, turning broken wood into wall art, or refurbishing unused shelves into plant stands. The beauty of this path lies in accessibility. You don't need expensive tools, just a clear eye and a bit of imagination. The more you experiment, the more confident you become in your ability to create value from the overlooked. Recycled creations also make powerful emotional gifts. When people buy recycled art or furniture, they're not just purchasing a physical object, they're supporting a story of rebirth, creativity, and responsibility. Every reused item carries a message of hope, that renewal is always possible, and that beauty can emerge from what once seemed lost. Recycling the past to future is more than craftsmanship, it's philosophy in motion. It encourages us to think differently about value, ownership, and time. It teaches us that waste is simply potential waiting for a fresh idea. It reminds us that innovation often comes from limitation, and creativity thrives best when we see abundance in what others overlook. Transforming old materials into fresh, inspiring creations is more than a craft, it's a mindset that turns yesterday's leftovers into tomorrow's opportunities. When you look at worn-out wood, forgotten household items, or pieces of metal collecting dust, you're not just seeing scraps, you're seeing the beginning of something valuable. Every reused piece carries a story, a touch of history that brings warmth and authenticity to your work. By reshaping these old elements, you breathe life into materials most people overlook, and in doing so, you create unique items that stand out in both style and purpose. The beauty of reusing lies not only in saving resources but also in discovering hidden potential in the simplest things. A weathered plank becomes elegant decor, a discarded frame transforms into a functional centerpiece, and a simple jar can evolve into a beautiful organizer. Every creative act begins with seeing possibility where others see the end. Recycling and reuse breathe that possibility into every forgotten object. The past doesn't have to fade, it can evolve, reshaped by imagination into something meaningful once again. Each creation becomes proof that renewal is not just an environmental choice but a creative one, an act of artistry, empathy, and vision. We put a lot of effort into creating and compiling this video, So if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. It truly helps us make more content like this and share more inspiring ideas with you. Thank you for watching, and remember, every piece you carve adds beauty to the world, and every sale brings you one step closer to building a life shaped by art and passion.